Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and alright, we're going to be doing Empties. Y'all know I love Empties. I feel like it is a great opportunity to give you guys information about my true, genuine, deep-seated feelings regarding these beauty products. First impressions are great, favorites are great, but honestly, for me, Empties is where it's at, because if you have taken the time and energy and made the commitment to use something from start to finish, you know full well what you think of it and whether or not it's something you will purchase again. So I love talking to you about my Empties. I've got a variety of products in here. So before we jump into it, if this is your first time, welcome. I am so excited that you decided to, go through my garbage with me. And if you have been returning, I love you so much as well. Thank you so much. And let's get into the Empties. All right, so the majority of what I have here is either skincare or makeup. I've got some really good makeup Empties, and I feel like this second half of the year has been fan-freaking-tastic for makeup Empties for me, which feels amazing, especially since I have previously done a lot of project panning and just burnt myself out. No longer project panning, or at least taking a hiatus from it, and still seeing a lot of makeup Empties gives me hope and makes me feel really, really good. Now, I will also mention it's not an apology, because I try really hard not to apologize for the children that live in my house acting like children. But my kids are acting like kids downstairs. They are being wild and bickering and fighting, and my poor sweet husband is trying so hard to keep it under control. So if you hear some background shouting, screaming, and or disciplining, I don't know what to tell you other than if you know, you know. So let's go ahead and start out with some skincare. And all of these except for one are full size, which is very exciting. So I do have one little foil pack. This is the Pharmacy Honey Halo Ultra Hydrating Ceramide Moisturizer. I've been through a full size of this and I do really quite like it, which is why I decided to go ahead and use a sample up of it. I'm kind of fickle when it comes to foil packs. Sometimes I get really excited about them and sometimes I'm like, I might get around to using it at some point. That's one that I used pretty quickly. I have some other moisturizers here. I have from Peach and Lily. This is the Matcha Pack Moisturizer. I'm sorry, Matcha Pudding Antioxidant Cream. So I picked this up during one of the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sales, and it was all right. It was green, which I thought was kind of fun. I mean, it does have matcha pudding as the name, but I liked it okay. It isn't something that I think I would purchase again. I thought it smelled really nice. It has more of a kind of herbally medicinal note to it, which personally I like, as long as it doesn't go too far into the medicinal realm. It smelled really nice. But the reason that I don't know that I would pick this up again is because it just didn't give me enough. I used this as my night moisturizer, and being that we're coming out of summer, or according to the calendar, we're coming out of summer because we've had an unseasonable heat wave where I live, it was fine. But now that we're allegedly heading into the cooler months, I definitely want to go back to something that's going to be a little bit more heavy duty, a little bit more nourishing. Just for reference, I do have balanced to dry skin, and I am 42 years old, so we are quickly approaching mature skin. It's about the only maturity that we are approaching. So yeah, it was fine, but I don't think I would repurchase it. One that I actually absolutely loved is, strangely enough, from Badescu. I feel like everybody and their brother for the longest time was really fond of their sprays. I really was kind of non-committal towards them. But these days, now that there's so much more skincare out there, so much more elevated skincare out there, I don't think Badescu is looked upon quite as seriously. This is the Hyaluronic Dew Cream, and you guys, I loved it. I really did. I used this as my day cream. Clearly, I used it completely up. It was a lightweight gel moisturizer, gel cream moisturizer, I guess. But it sank into my skin really nicely and really gave it a beautiful plumpness. Makeup went on it beautifully. I really enjoyed this quite a lot. And this is one that, should I not have a massive backstock of honestly everything, I would strongly consider purchasing because I really did like it quite a bit. Again, just as my daytime moisturizer, when I really want my moisturizer to do kind of the hard work, heavy hitting, that's typically at night. But especially for the summertime, this was lovely. Kind of rounding out that sort of pseudo category, I have some sunscreen. So this is from Dermstore. This is the Daily Mineral Sunscreen, and it's in an SPF 40. This was in a Trend Mood box that I purchased last year, I want to say, and I honestly didn't love it. It had kind of a more, I don't know, almost like putty consistency to it, so it did take some time to blend out, and there was a significant amount of drag trying to get it into my skin. Once it was on, it performed just fine. I never had any trouble with any pilling. Makeup sat nicely on top of it. All of that was fine. What I'm saying though is that there are better formulas out there. In fact, the one that I'm using now is fantastic. I mean, it's K-Beauty, so of course it is. This is the Innisfree Hyaluronic Acid Watery Gel SPF 50. This is phenomenal. So yeah, this was fine, but there are way better formulas out there in my opinion. I finished off my Neutrogena Hydra Boost cleanser. This is my very favorite cleanser of all time, and it's from the drugstore. It's easily accessible. It is relatively inexpensive because, let's be honest, nothing is really inexpensive anymore, no matter where you buy it from. Everything is flippin' expensive and I hate it. But this is fantastic. I already have another bottle in backup. I'm using something else right now. I'm using the Good Molecules cleanser and I like it, but this is still my favorite. And I used up 2 cleansing balms. So this one I have used up in the past. This is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Makeup. And I'm conflicted. The one that I used up previously, either 1 or 2 of them, I can't remember now, was in their old packaging. And I am thinking maybe old formula. When I looked into it, I didn't see anywhere that explicitly said that it was reformulated and repackaged. Although I could have missed that. Let me know if you know the answer. I loved the one in the other package. This one, I didn't love as much. It still worked just fine. I would still take it over some of the other cleansing balms that I've used in the past. I just didn't like it as much as I liked it before, is all I'm saying. But it still worked very well for breaking down and removing my makeup. The pillar that I compare everything to is the Pharmacy Green Clean. That is my holy grail, can't live without makeup melting balm. And it is still reigning supreme. But it does have a sharp contender. I definitely purchased the Tatcha cleansing balm when it released because I was wildly curious. I have really enjoyed Tatcha products in the past, especially their purple line. Really enjoy that. And this is the Indigo cleansing balm, and I loved this. I loved this. Used it all up. It was kind of a pale blue, as the name would suggest, but it was outstanding. I wish that I could say that I didn't love it as much as I do, but you hear me going on and on. I really enjoyed it. It worked so well at easily and quickly breaking down my makeup. I never got any sort of fogginess in my eyes, and it just worked beautifully. The reason that I still don't think it's going to quite dethrone my Pharmacy Green Clean is because you don't get the value for money in comparison. Are either one of them inexpensive? No, they're not. But this Tatcha one is, I think, $1 or $2 more expensive than the Green Clean. but it's a smaller container, so you get less for those dollars. But it worked really, really well. I almost picked up another one during the most recent Sephora sale, but I held off. I did pick up some more of my Green Clean, so I'm going to try to work through what I have, and then hopefully when the spring sale rolls around, I will pick up another one of these, because again, I really, really liked it. And yeah, I'm bougie. I'm bougie. What am I going to say? So I usually put that's a lot of right there. I usually put perfume in my body care section, and I have 3 little minis that I have used up. I love using up mini perfumes. I am so fickle when it comes to perfume, and I don't live near enough to a Sephora store to take the time to go in and actually smell things, and I don't love it when I blind. I always do that. Blind buy. So samples are for me really where it's at. And this is the Magnolia Bliss from Juliet Has a Gun. I don't know why I'm showing you a clear empty glass sprayer, but I am. I liked this. Magnolia is probably one of my favorite flower scents, Magnolia and Jasmine both. And this was fine. I didn't get a lot of the notes that I typically would expect to smell in a Magnolia scent, but it was fine. I don't see myself wanting to purchase a full size, but if another sample were to come into my life, I would happily use it. I also used up from Skylar. This is Vanilla Sky, and I did really like this. I am very picky when it comes to my vanilla scents. I really don't like extraordinarily sweet fragrances on myself, but I also sometimes really heavy vanilla perfumes can give me a headache. For example, Vanilla Bean from Bath & Body Works often will give me a migraine. So Vanilla Sky from Skylar, I did really like. It is more of a daytime vanilla in my opinion. It has a sweetness to it, but it's not over the top. And it just smells very nice and very clean, and I enjoyed it. I would consider purchasing a full size of it. But honestly, the standout for me is Commodity Gold. I love Commodity Gold. If the Vanilla Sky is a daytime vanilla, this is a dark, deep, sensual vanilla. This is a come hither date night vanilla, and I love it. I would absolutely pick up a full size. I came really close to purchasing it during the Sephora sale, but I ended up buying a few other things instead. They have a couple of varying intensities. This is just the regular one. They have, I think, a softer one and a more intense one. This is the middle road, and I absolutely love it. At some point in time, I will purchase it because it's absolutely delightful. I have found that both Skylar and Commodity have quite a few scents that I really enjoy. And then finally on to the makeup, because I know that is what you have been waiting for. And I have almost all full-size empties, which feels incredible. So let's go with the one mini that I have here. I did finish off a sample of the Koss Revealer Foundation, and I want to love this so much because it sits really nicely on the skin. This is in the shade Very Light Cool 120, and I liked it. I really loved the way that it looked on my skin, the way that it blended in, the way that it sat, the way that it played with other products. I will not purchase this though because it has a very pronounced rose scent to it, and I don't like rose. I just don't. I never have. And this is aggressively rose, and it doesn't seem to dissipate. And it's really just, it's on my face and it's in my tools, and it makes me really sad because so many people love Koss, and there are Koss products that I do really love, don't get me wrong, but everybody talks such a big game about their concealer, and it has a similar scent to it. The foundation was lovely, but it gives me a headache, and so it's not something that I'm gonna purchase. Let's see, I also finished off an eyebrow product from NYX. This is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This for me is not a repurchase. in this shade. So the shade that I have is Brunette. Now, I purchased this thinking that brunette would be brunette, but it's not. This is very, very, very red leaning. So now that I've been back to, you know, varying shades of red in my hair, it was a little bit easier to push myself to use it up because my brows themselves naturally are a very cool toned brown. So I generally gravitate towards ash types of shades. And this, even though it said brunette, this ran red. And from a distance, with my hair being more red now, I could pull it off. But when you get up close, it looked just so weird because you would see the kind of redder pigment on my skin and then my actual brow hairs kind of like on top of it, if that makes sense. So the formula, I'm sure was fine. I don't have positive feelings around it because it was just such a chore to use up, but I'm really happy that I did get it used up because I didn't need it in my life anymore. Now, as far as a better shade match for me, should you be wondering, the one that I've been enjoying is actually from Maybelline. This is the Maybelline Express Brow, and this is in the shade Ash Brown. So that is what tends to look best on me. If you're, you know, kind of a skin, hair, brow twin, and you're looking for something that is from the drugstore, that one is excellent. I used up a lip gloss. I used up a whole lip gloss, which is so stinking exciting. I pulled the stopper. I don't know if that's gonna focus, but I used up every smidge that I possibly could because I loved this lip gloss so stinking much. This is from Glamlight. This is from their Strawberry Shortcake collection. The formula was fantastic. The color was fantastic. It was this beautiful sort of like pinky red that when you put it on, it had just enough pigment and opacity to make your lips just look healthy and flushed and perfect. It had a lovely, nourishing feeling formula that had a nice grip to it without being sticky. My hair never got stuck in it. It didn't like gum up when you were talking. This was great. I wish that I could buy it all by itself because this was great, and I've been chasing it with a few other products and I haven't found anything that is its twin, so loved that. Excited that I used it up, but still kind of sad that it's gone. I finished up a BB cream color corrector foundation-y sort of thing. This is from L'Oreal. This is the Magic Skin Beautifier in the redness reduction green, and I did not enjoy it. I purchased this because of Rose and Ben. I saw her using it on Instagram like a year and a half ago, something like that. And it looked fabulous on her because let's be honest, everything looks fabulous on her. But I was like, okay, this would be great for kind of no makeup days. It's got a good bit of coverage, but not like too much. This looked terrible on me. I had to mix it with other things just to get it used up. This is not something that I personally recommend. I would not repurchase, and there are just better products out there. One that I do highly recommend and that I've gone through countless tubes of is from the Ulta house brand. This is their waterproof full coverage concealer. Full coverage liquid concealer, waterproof. Mine, I always get in the shade Fair Cool, and I absolutely love this product. I typically try my best to hold off and pick it up during the 21 Days of Beauty because then is when they usually have some sort of sale running on their house brand. They tend to run those sales pretty often. Buy one, get one half off, buy one, get one free, buy two, get one, you know, all those kinds of variations. This is great. This is great. It blends out beautifully. It covers my dark circles. It never looks heavy and cakey. I don't have issues with it creasing. It's awesome. I do love it. I finished off from Pat McGrath. I don't think you can tell what it is because all it is reflecting my ring light back there. But this is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. I have it in light, and I used as much as I possibly could. All you've got there is baked pan, and then I can't get anything else off of it. I tried scratching it with a spoolie, and even that wasn't pulling it off. So we're calling this baby done. I really did enjoy it. I don't know that I'm gonna pick it up again in the near future because I've been really enjoying puffs lately. In fact, I don't know quite where it is right now. There it is. This one from Sephora is Balm, and it's like $5. Awesome. But I've been enjoying using puffs and loose powder underneath my eyes. So while I did really enjoy this, it gave me really smooth, really beautiful under eyes. I've just been kind of experimenting with some other things, but it is something that I could repurchase again in the future. I'm just not in any great hurry. And then finally, I finished off a full-size loose powder. This took me over a year. This is from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. And she all done. She's all gone. Love that for me. It takes me so long to use up powder. It really does, because I only use a very small amount. As I said before, my skin type is balanced to dry. So really, I only use it to make myself feel more confident about putting other powder complexion products over my foundation. So I only need a very small amount. This took forever. It was fine. I know for a long time it was a lot of people's favorite, and I can see why, but I also think that makeup in general has come such a long way. There are other powders that I do prefer over this one, even though this one was fine. Fine is no longer cutting it for me. So I'm glad that I used it up, especially because it has been a holy grail for so many people for so long. I just don't think it's a holy grail for me personally. So that is everything that I've used up since the last time we talked about my empties. I try to do these somewhat frequently, but I have been anything but consistent in anything this year. So I don't remember when my last empties was, but I feel like it's been somewhat recent, and I've used up a lot of really great full-size products, which makes me feel incredible. So I would love to know, what have you used up lately? What is the thing that you are most proud of having used up? I would love to know. And if you've enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing before you leave. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.